All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. It's been a while since I've done something Michigan football related over here. Those of you who are subbed to my channel, you know that I've been playing around with the shorts. The NBA finals are about to take place. The conference finals took place, so it's a sports channel. YouTube gave us the shorts feature, so I've been playing with those. YouTube is a business, so you want to try to grow your business and see if you can expand it. So that's what I've been doing. So I didn't wake up this morning thinking that I would do something tonight, but as I was driving back to my place from Eastern Maryland, I listened to Sam Webb's interview with Colston Loveland. That's a really good interview. It's in the description box below in case you haven't seen it. And then I watched uh, the Michigan Roundtable. I think that's what it's called. Sam hosted that, and they were talking about Schembechler. I'm going to talk about that a little bit myself. But that link is below in the description box below. Hey, y'all, I've been experimenting with the basketball a little bit. As we get closer and closer to kickoff in September, there will be more Michigan football content again. But I just wanted to come back and do something tonight here. Daryl, thank you for being here. Thank you for being the first one here. Whoever comes through, please smash that like button. A quick disclaimer here. I am not a quote unquote Michigan insider. I live in the DMV, the Washington, D.C. area. I am a Michigan alumnus. I am a fan. I am a sports fan. I am also a writer working on a book. So I don't want to confuse anybody. When I first started YouTubing and when I first created this channel, one of the viewers said, "Hey, you missold yourself as a Michigan insider." And I said, "No, I'm not an insider. I'm an alumnus. I'm a fan. I'm a writer working on a sports related book. So no, I'm not an insider. I know what I know. Other people know more, but I know what I know. I have a crew of people over here. We have fun. We like to have fun. I'm trying to grow the channel. So there we go." So Daryl came through. Kenneth Joyce came through. Kenneth, thank you for stopping through. Everyone, please smash that like button. Oh, by the way, I'm going home next week. I'm going back to Ann Arbor, not for a game. We're about 3 to 4 months early for that, but my department, the Department of Pharmacology, is having a symposium, and they asked me to come and speak about my science career. For the new people here, I am a scientist. I studied in the Department of Pharmacology at the University of Michigan. That's how I got there. So I get to go back to Ann Arbor next week. It's been years since I've been there. I think I haven't been there since before the pandemic. Anyway, I'm gonna play the intro, then I'm gonna jump in. I have some links I'm gonna share. I'm not gonna read them all verbatim, but we're just gonna catch up on what's been happening with the football program, and we're gonna speculate on what's gonna come up in the 2023 season. So I will see you all on the other side of the intro. This isn't long. It's Let's Go Blue. So let's go blue. You know what, everyone? That was the wrong intro. That one has the picture of Aiden Hutchinson in it, and it has that infographic, that graphic with the 9 behind Jim. That was the wrong one. I'm a stickler for details. Let me see if I can find the right one. That was not supposed to happen. Give me a second here. Oh, yep. It's the wrong date. I went through the hard work of preparing this. I want it to be right. Darrell, it's Darrell. He said, "What's good, fam?" It's pronounced Darrell, like Darrell Revis, Revis Island, like Darrell Revis from the New York Jets. Okay, what's good? Thank you for letting me know. I will try to. Well, I will pronounce it correctly from this point on. All right. By the way, while this loads up, Ann Arbor is my second home. Buffalo is my first home. I'm from Buffalo. Go Bills! But Ann Arbor will always be another home for me. So when I say I'm going home, that's in a certain context. All right, this is the proper intro. All right, everyone, welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. If you are new to the channel, please, shout out to Bo Lytle. If you see fit, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, once again, shout out to Bo Lytle. If you see fit, you want to throw something in the collection plate, my Cash App and PayPal are there. I also have a super chat here, and you can leave a super thanks if you're watching this on the playback and something I say resonates with you. Darrell, are you an alum as well? Or are you a member of the fan base? I mean, you don't have to be an alum to be a member of the fan base, but what's your connection to the university? Or are you from southeastern Michigan? I mean, you don't have to put all your information out there, but I don't remember seeing you before. But yeah, let me know. All right, everyone. I have a bunch of things here I'm going to share. There's been so much. I have a busy life. This is not my only channel, and there's been so much news uh, out there regarding the football program and just Michigan athletics in general. It's hard to uh, capture it all. I recently saw that Caleb Love. I don't know what Juwan Howard's going to do next year with the basketball team, the men's basketball team, but because of our academic standards at the University of Michigan, Caleb Love couldn't come to Michigan. So, and that's something that's been talked about for years. Schools like Michigan and Notre Dame and Stanford can only recruit and have certain kinds of players come into our athletics programs because we have specific academic standards. So we've seen this over the years with our athletic programs. Not every kid could come here. Caleb Love was going to come here. I saw earlier. I saw earlier today that he's landed in Arizona. So Darrell says, "No, sir. I've been a fan since '96. I'm from Alabama. Oh no, no Crimson Tide for you, huh? No Crimson Tide um, or Auburn Tigers for you. Interesting. Well, we're glad to have you on board, Darrell. All right, I'm going to run through some things, everyone. Then I'm going to wrap this up. So the news is ongoing. Things are always unfolding. Things are always materializing. And there's been this Schembechler thing. May Bo rest in peace. There's always, it seems like recently, there's always something happening with the Schembechler name with our football program and his son Shemy. I think it's Glenn Jr. Glenn Shemy Schembechler. He found himself in the news for something social media related. I'm so busy, I don't have time to sit down and read everything. So over the weekend, someone had Jason Whitlock. Even just saying that name, Jason Whitlock, is enough to alienate some people. Jason has a lot of detractors for his spiritual and political views. But someone interviewed Jason about what happened with Shemy. And according to Jason, Shemy liked and hearted something Jason said on Twitter, which I think was a quote of Dr. Thomas Sowell. I'm not going to get into that now. That goes beyond the scope of this channel and this show. But what I will say is Dr. Thomas Sowell is a Black uh, economist and conservative. And the combination of those two in our society will get you tarred and feathered. I'm not going to say what the tweet was. I wasn't offended by it. I kind of sort of agreed with it. But to make a long story short, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Twitter or social media, people are tracking what you're doing. They're tracking what you're saying. They're tracking who you're talking to. And there's a feature on Twitter that actually allows you to track what people like. Give me a second here. I'm going to show this. Darrell, if you're still there, please let me know what you think in the chat about any of this. Let me know. Yeah, just this is more fun when it's interactive. We're just going to do a little demo here. I learned this the hard way myself. I actually had two Twitter accounts. My original Twitter account, which had over 1,000 subs, and I started the smaller one, which I have now for my blogging purposes. I shut the other one down because I realized your Twitter history goes back 5 years, and and I didn't. Someone had called attention to what I had been saying and putting on Twitter, and it went back 5 years. And with 5 years worth of history, I couldn't go back and clean it up, so I just shut it down. But in any case, for those of you, for the uninitiated, and this is also a shameless plug to see if I can get more Twitter followers. Because despite all the damage it causes, despite the hardship it's caused, Shemy, Twitter, Twitter and most social media platforms are valuable, especially if you're writing a book like I am, or if you're in business somehow. So it can be valuable if you use it correctly. So if you're on Twitter, my handle is at Big Words Are Powerful. There's me right there looking smooth in a fedora and a turtleneck and a jacket. But if you can go, and I doubt when Shemy was tweeting and doing what he was doing, he thought about all this. I certainly didn't think about this until it happened to me. But you can go to someone's likes and you can see what they like. There's my friend Abdul Gaines. He might stop through. If he stops through, I have my Nick Saban drops ready for him. He's a diehard Laker fan. Recently, I've been liking a lot of Abdul's tweets. There's him making fun of the Boston Celtics from last night. There's his brother Raheem. There's my friend Carol. There's the critical drinker. But I'm saying this to say that Shemy got in trouble with this. He was tweeting, he was liking, but there are people looking at your tweets, looking at your retweets, looking at your mentions, looking at who you're talking to, and there are even people looking at what you like, and they're forming judgments based upon who you're talking to and who you like. And Shemy got caught up in that. So let me not belabor this. Let me read this. This is a short one. Darrell says, "We've spoken before. You had me up in panels during the football season. I know you have an Ohio fan on. Oh, Alex. Yeah, and he and I don't agree. You and I have spoken about 4 times. Yeah, Alex doesn't always agree with everyone, and everyone doesn't always agree with Alex. It's funny when Antoine is in the chat and Alex is up because they get a little bit of a back and forth going. Okay. So this reads as follows. And just like that, Schembechler is out. Now, remember, a couple of years ago, there was the scandal involving the doctor, um, the team doctor under Bo's stewardship. So the Schembechler family keeps something keeps happening with the Schembechler family. Kenneth Joyce says, "I don't like it, but you have to be careful." That's right. That's right. Once you put it out there, it's fair game, and people are looking at you and they're looking for dirt oftentimes. And employers are looking to protect themselves. So, and just like that, Schembechler is out. It didn't take long for Schembechler to be removed from his post after racially charged tweets and likes were unearthed across at least one of his social media accounts. This was written by Brandon Brown about a week ago. Okay. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, or in Schembechler's case, say/like stupid stuff, get treated accordingly. So even just in today's climate, even just liking something will get you in hot water. Just 3 days ago, it became known that Jim Harbaugh had added Shemy Schembechler, the son of legendary coach Bo Schembechler, to his recruiting staff. The move seemed fine from a resume standpoint, but given how everything recently transpired involving Dr. Robert Anderson and Bo Schembechler, it kind of made you wonder why even go down the road. Well, I think Jim is loyal. Jim is loyal. He's very loyal. He's loyal to the Schembechler family and the Schembechler name. Now, here we are on Saturday, and after some very disturbing racially charged opinions and ideas were liked on Twitter by Shemy, the newly appointed staffer has resigned. Athletic director Ward Manuel and football coach and head football coach Jim Harbaugh released a statement earlier today. "We are aware of some comments and likes on social media that have caused concern and pain for individuals in our community. Michigan athletics is fully committed uh, to be a place where our coaches, staff, and student athletes feel welcome and where we fully support the university's and athletic department's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion." So anything that goes against those things, diversity, equity, and inclusion, or anything that at least appears to be insensitive, you're done. In today's climate, you're done. You're toast. Schembechler spent many years in the NFL serving as a scout, most recently for the Las Vegas Raiders since 2019. For his work with the Raiders, he also worked for the Chicago Bears, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Washington Redskins. So, yeah, got to be careful with your social media. Darrell, I'm going to read your comment. Darrell says, as far as Shemy, he's definitely free to tweet/like whatever, but there are consequences. Yeah. I am saddened that a Sparty fan did more investigating than the Michigan administration. That's bad vetting. You know, it's funny. Within Jim's first couple of years as the head coach, Jim was pretty active on Twitter. And then he came to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm just going to shut it down because it doesn't really help me or anyone else to get into this quarreling with trolls and people online. So I'm just going to cut it. So Jim himself took a step back from Twitter, but employers everywhere, significant others everywhere, journalists, everyone is combing social media nowadays. So be mindful of what you put on there. I see some new people coming in. Please hit that, smash that like button, hit that like button. That helps with the engagement. This is just a very quick Michigan football stream. Okay, so everyone keep letting me know what you think right there in the chat. What else do we have here? What else did I find in my mailbox? How about, yeah, if you haven't watched the Sam Webb, Colston Loveland interview, that was really, really good. Colston is probably going to be the starter at tight end this season. I actually have the depth chart here. We're gonna go over that. Let's see. This caught my eye. Regarding our up and coming defensive coordinator. Speaking of which, it doesn't sound like Josh Gaddis is faring too well. I think Mario Cristobal let him go down in Miami. So yeah, things don't sound like they're going too well for Josh Gaddis. Or something happened with Josh Gaddis. Okay. So let me see how long this one is. This one is short. I'll read this one too. Coach Mentor was shopping himself around at the end of last season. So depending upon if his defense plays lights out this season like they did last season, don't be surprised if Coach Mentor is gone, just like Coach McDonald. So this reads as follows. CBS Sports Michigan football defensive coordinator Jesse Minter poised for a head coaching job. And Coach Minter did a really, really good job last year, even with, yeah, Kenneth, as I was saying that, I thought he went to Maryland. Somebody said something. It was Alex. Alex was texting today about Mario Cristobal and Josh Gaddis, but I shouldn't speak on it unless I've investigated it myself. But I think he's in, yeah, he set up shop right here in the DMV at Maryland. Michigan's coming here this year, by the way. So I'm going to go see them live when they come here. Hopefully I can go to the big house as well. All right. David Cobb with CBS Sports came out with a list of 6 coordinators who are poised to land a Power 5 head coaching job in the upcoming season or two. First on the list was Clemson's new offensive coordinator, Garrett Riley, who just signed with the Tigers after a sensational year with TCU. Riley helped lead the Horned Frogs. Riley helped lead the Horned Frogs to their first college football playoff final. The second coordinator on Cobb's list was Michigan's defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. Minter came to Michigan last year after Mike McDonald left to become the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator. Michigan ranked number 5 nationally in total defense last season, allowing just 292.1 yards per game. The Wolverines also finished in the top 10 for both yards allowed per rush and yards allowed per pass attempt. Not bad for Minter's first season on the job. He arrived after a one-year stint at Vanderbilt and time with the Baltimore Ravens, where he worked for Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh's brother John. Minter, 40, began his career with entry-level jobs at Notre Dame and Cincinnati, has NFL and SEC experience, and is now proving to be an elite defensive coordinator for one of the sport's top brands. All signs point toward Mentor becoming a coach of interest to Power Five schools with openings. So long as the Wolverines sustain their defensive standard in 2023. You know what's interesting is that our program's critics were predicting that our defense would tank last year after Mike McDonald left and Coach Mentor took over. But the defense arguably got better, even after losing Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo and Daxton Hill. Up until that last game against TCU, but I'm going to talk about that after this. Hold on. Wolverines defense didn't skip a beat last season, going from McDonald to Mentor, even after losing Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, and Dax Hill to the NFL draft. Michigan reloaded on defense, and with the scheme not changing much at all, the Wolverines were a top 5 defense. Mentor received NFL interest after his first season with Michigan. The Philadelphia Eagles reached out and talked with Mentor about coming there to become a defensive coordinator, but Mentor is back in Ann Arbor for another year. It's hard to argue if Michigan can replicate what it did last year with Mentor as the defensive coordinator. Power 5 teams should be calling Mentor to come talk with them. Mentor held Ohio State to 23 points, the third lowest scoring output of the season from the Buckeyes, and that is a feat of its own, especially at the Horseshoe. I agree with that. We're going to have a quick word from Brady Hoke, and then I'm going to come back and talk about the defense.
We understand what Michigan football means and what Michigan football is. We will always be about the team at Michigan. This is never going to be about Brady Hoke.
I know he's not the coach, but some of his drops are classic. Yeah, so the defense played really well last year. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. They lost Dax Hill. They lost David Ojabo. And this year we're losing Mozzie Smith. I think Big Mike is going to the league. So we're going to suffer some losses this year. But can the defense reproduce what it did last year? I think what happened to the defense in the national semifinal was just a matter of some misfortunes on offense. And TCU had a pretty good quarterback. And the defense just was not stretched like that all season. So I think that was their worst game of the season, but it was due to some other factors, I think, and it just wasn't challenged to that degree earlier on in the season. So I think Jesse can flat out coach, as Dick Vitale says. Darrell says Partridge was brought in because they anticipate Mentor leaving after 2023. And Partridge will be in Ann Arbor for a while. Moore will likely stay there 2 to 3 more years. Then Grant Newsome will take over the offensive line. Okay, we've got some pretty hard predictions here from Darrell. Darrell, thank you for that. All right, this next one. I thought this was interesting. And how differently, if Blake was healthy, we probably still smack Ohio State. But how differently would the TCU game have gone had Blake played? I think Blake, helps. Hold on a second, everyone. Yeah, I think with with Blake in the backfield along with Donovan or alternating the two, well, you don't have the Mullings. You don't have the Khalil Mullings fumble at the goal line if Blake is in there. And with that 1-2 punch, I think that probably lifts us. That probably lifts us over TCU because we only lost the game by 6 points. All right, this one was interesting because it's entitled Jim actually encouraged Blake to go to the NFL after he rehabbed his knee. All right. This was published on May 15th. Before Blake Corum ever decided, there's Blake right there. I'm sure we all know who Blake is in this fan base. Before Blake Corum ever decided on surgery for his torn meniscus, before he could even come to a conclusion on whether to declare for the NFL draft in January, he turned to Jim Harbaugh. Well, it also wasn't a foregone conclusion that Jim would come back because Jim was testing the waters in the NFL as well. The Michigan coach has watched plenty of players come into his program and leave, some 3 to 5 years later for the NFL. Many of them seek the counsel of Harbaugh, a former player and coach in the professional ranks, on whether they might be ready for the rigor that comes with playing at the next level. Corum was no different, but in a truly unique predicament. Here was a star running back, the face of the Wolverines, a top 10 team who was in the Heisman Trophy conversation and on the brink of a historic season. He racked up more than 1,400 rushing yards and 18 touchdowns before going down on the bone-chillingly cold afternoon in mid-November, a play that left Corum with a torn meniscus in his left knee, sprained MCL, and a heavy bone bruise. What's interesting, I'll ask you guys and you let me know there in the chat. Would JJ have played the game he played against Ohio State if Blake hadn't gotten hurt? Would that have gone very differently had Blake been healthy for the Ohio State game? Because JJ, when Blake went out, that Illinois game was on the verge of slipping away from us. And JJ and some of the other guys, they won that game. It got a little scary. And then going into the horseshoe, I wasn't feeling very good because I hadn't really seen JJ connect on deep balls last season, and you just didn't know what was going to happen. But JJ took that next step. The offense took the next step. And I don't want to say it was a good thing that Blake went out with his knee injury, but I think it may have forced JJ to step up and do what he did. But let me know what you guys think there in the chat. He tried playing on it, but soon found he couldn't jump, run, or cut like he was used to. That's when the decision was made at the behest of doctors in Ann Arbor, with second, third, and fourth opinions from NFL team doctors all confirming to have surgery. Coach Harbaugh said to get the surgery. Corum said in a recent interview with the website 3013, and he told me to go to the NFL. I said, Coach, what would you do? He said, if I were you, I'd go to the league. That's very, very unselfish of Jim to do that. But fortunately, Blake decided to come back. And I was going to say something else. Yeah, Blake was responsible for getting us to that point in the season when he got hurt. He carried the team as the passing game sputtered along. So despite how JJ finished and despite how Donovan finished and despite how Cornelius finished, they made some spectacular plays at the end of the season, but Blake was definitely our MVP for most of the season, in my opinion. Kenneth says, I don't think he was forced. I think Coach Harbaugh was forced. That may be true. That may be true. Jim has very, very conservative leanings with his play calling. I feel like that cost us the 2018 Michigan Ohio State game, the revenge tour game. But yeah, you're probably right, Kenneth. That probably forced him to put the ball up in the air. Darrell says, I don't think so. Blake not playing definitely helped JJ's development. Now heading into 2023, teams are really screwed. Michigan can beat teams with running and throwing. Pick how you want to lose. Yeah, I think the key is going to be staying healthy. The revelation comes as Corum ramps up for his senior season at Michigan, a decision he made in early January as the draft deadline neared. It publicly weighed on him for weeks, with Corum telling ESPN's Adam Schefter that he was split 50-50 in the days leading up to it. Corum said he had high-profile figures like Harbaugh and his agent encouraging him to leave college and enter the NFL. He had an incredible junior season, they argued, and his tape would speak for itself. But the more he thought about it, Corum said the 6-month rehab from surgery would have kept him from participating at the NFL scouting combine and later on the Michigan hosted pro day event, even with scouts potentially impacting his draft stock. I agree with that. Throw in all the perceived drawbacks of drafting a player like Corum, his injury history, his height. He's listed at 5'8", 210 pounds, and questions about his speed, and he had his doubts. All these things are on my mind, Corum said. Are they going to judge me on my film? Will they think I'm not fast enough if I don't run the 40? Am I not going to be able to prove myself and get drafted as high as possible? Throw in all the other Michigan players electing to return in 2023, when the Wolverines will have another chance to win the Big Ten and qualify for the college football playoff, making them a national title contender, being able to graduate and obtain his degree, and continue to cash in on name, image, and likeness deals. And there were too many pros to pass up. The NFL is not going nowhere. What's one more year? I'm getting all these things, these pros, my degree, chance to win a national championship, a chance to leave a true legacy, Corum said, a chance to be a hero. I'm in the community big time. I get one more year with the community. I get one more year with charities, giving back. There is too many pros for something that's always going to be there. It's all about the bigger picture. I'm coming back honestly. All right. Let's just hope after that Illinois play where he hurt himself, hopefully this year he'll be thinking about protecting himself as well. Because in that play, he dived, I think it was for a first down, and an Illinois player came, I think it was the Illinois player's helmet that hit his knee right above the kneecap. So hopefully Blake is thinking about protecting himself out there as he's fighting for yardage this season. Okay, guys, we're almost done. This next one, I'm not going to read this verbatim. This is just something else that I saw. Keep letting me know what you think there in the chat. If you're just coming in, please smash that like button. We're just going over the most recent Michigan football news. We're going to have a quick word here from Coach Harbaugh in the aftermath of the 2020 Ohio State game.
Sometimes people that are standing on third base think they hit a triple, but they didn't. All right, thanks.
That was some shade at Ryan Day. Do I have a Ryan Day drop here? Oh yeah, here's Ryan Day. Let's have a word from Ryan Day.
We're off to a good start there. We still have a long way to go, but we still are building, we're growing. There's still a lot of things we need to get better at, a lot of things. But I think you can see that we're targeted, we're playing with an edge, running off the football.
And you know what, Darrell? Since you mentioned Sharon Moore, let's have a word from Joel Klatt.
At one point in our meetings, I almost got a little sassy. I was like, stop, time out. Who has veto power? And then he was like, well, no one has veto power. And I was like, no, stop. Who has veto power? Well, no one has veto power except for Coach Harbaugh.
So last season, there was a controversy over who was calling the plays. Was it Sharon Moore? Was it Matt Weiss? Was it Coach Harbaugh? And I think Joe Klatt got a little frustrated with our offensive coaching staff because no one could give him a straight answer about who was calling the plays. All right, I'm not going to read this one. I'm just going to show the title really quickly because we're at 40 minutes. It looks like some players are leaving and have left Michigan State. This one was dated May 7th, and it says Michigan reaches out to former MSU wide receiver Keon Coleman in transfer portal. So Michigan State didn't have the best year last year, and I think Mel Tucker is going to start to experience his third and fourth year challenges in terms of keeping the program going and keeping that Michigan State program viable. And I don't know if there was luck securing Keon Coleman, but it looks like there was interest for him. Darrell, thank you for commenting. He says, okay, no, that's I already read that one. All right. This one, okay. This one is entitled Michigan Football is on the verge of making college football history. Michigan on the verge of making college football history. Michigan football is a true blue blood, and it'll likely prove it in a major way this fall. This was written by Brandon Brown on May 23rd, so about a week ago. Michigan football is an iconic program, and it's about to reach a level that some programs never will. The Wolverines are about to reach 1,000 wins in the history of the iconic program. You know what? That's quite a feat. When you think about how long the schedules are, and teams can only win. Well, now they can win up to 13 or 14 games. But in previous years, the most teams could win were 11 or 12 games. So that's a lot of wins for a program to rack up. Let's see. So I think with the Michigan State win, well, this tweet read Michigan currently sits at 989 total wins all time, which is the most out of any college football team. If Michigan can win 11 plus games this season, they'll become the first team to reach over 1,000 wins all time. All right. The Wolverines are expected to win at least 11 games this fall and are already favored in every single one. Yes, even the regular season finale against Ohio State, which will be played in Ann Arbor this year. If Michigan can remain healthy, take care of business, and get out to 11-0, win number 1,000 will occur against Maryland in College Park. Obviously, it would be great if the Wolverines could reach 1,000 wins at home, which is actually possible against the Buckeyes if U of M were to slip up against someone else during the first 11 games of the season. Ohio State is actually number 2 on the list of all-time wins, but is at the very least 3 campaigns away from getting to win number 1,000. Here's the top 25 on the list. Okay, so I'm not going to read over all this. This link is below in the description box. We're number 1 at 989 total wins. Ohio State has 953. Alabama is tied with Ohio State at 953. Notre Dame has 938. Texas has 936. Oklahoma has 934. Yale has 929. Penn State has 920. Nebraska has 912. And Harvard has 893 total wins. All right, that's that. I'm going to wrap this up shortly. I was thinking about going over the depth chart, but I think I will save that for another stream. I will end this stream by going over the schedule since it just came up in that that piece right there. So I'm just going to go over the schedule really quickly, and then I'm going to wrap this stream up. So Michigan is predicted to go 11-0, including when we host Ohio State towards the end of November. So Michigan opens up against East Carolina on September 2nd. Then the Wolverines host UNLV on September 9th. The Wolverines then host Bowling Green. And then the Wolverines host Rutgers. So it's almost a similar start to last season. Last season, we started with Colorado State, Hawaii, and was it Air Force? It was three cupcakes at home. On September 23rd, Big 10 play starts when the Wolverines host Rutgers. So Michigan should start 4-0. The Wolverines go out to Lincoln to play Nebraska. The Wolverines go up to Minnesota to play the Gophers. I've never been to a game up in Minnesota. I might try to go to that one. The weather should still be reasonable at that point. The Wolverines host the Hoosiers. We eked out that nail biter last year down in Bloomington. The Wolverines are going up to East Lansing this season. That's another game I might want to go to. I did go to the 2018 game. The Wolverines host Purdue. The Wolverines go out to Happy Valley. That's another one, another potential, because Pennsylvania is not very far from the Washington, D.C. area where I am right now. The Wolverines then travel here to the DMV to play Maryland. That's the game that's predicted to get us over the 1,000 win mark, or either at 1,000 or over. And then on November 25th, the Wolverines host the Ohio State Buckeyes, who will have revenge on their minds. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much they have left, or how much they have coming back. So that's always a losable game. There's always a lot of emotion attached to that game. Darrell says 12-0. I don't know why a lot of Michigan fans are worried about Penn State and Happy Valley. Michigan will win that by 17 points, and Michigan will drop 50 on Ohio State and win that game 54-20. All right, Darrell, we've got some bold predictions from you here. All right, let's see. I think the key to all of this. Alex has come through. Alex, I'm going to read Alex, I'm going to read Darrell's comment here for you. Darrell says Michigan should go 12-0. I don't know why a lot of Michigan fans are worried about Penn State and Happy Valley. Michigan will win by 17 plus, and Michigan will drop 50 on Ohio State and win that game 54-20. Book it. That's Darrell's prediction. Since Alex is here, let's see if we have an Ohio State drop for him. I already played one Ryan Day drop. Do I have another one queued up? No, I don't have another Ryan Day drop ready for you, Alex. That's okay, though. Kenneth said, Kenneth says, do you think they will make shirts for the 1,000 wins? Yeah, I think that's going to be, well, unfortunately, that's probably going to be a subplot. So hopefully that doesn't add to the pressure that the team will be under. And now they're, instead of just focusing on winning every game, they're focusing on this surpassing 1,000 wins thing. But that's going to be as they win more games, that's going to build more steam as we go along. Alex, now this is a snarky. I know, Alex. This is a snarky. Okay, this is a okay. Whatever. That's what that is. Alex says, "What's the line on that game?" Alex, it's a little too early to know that. And Ken Choi says, D has big ones, LOL. Okay, I think that's a reference to those Buckeyes in your comment there, Alex. I think that's what that is. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I was going to go over the depth chart, but we can go over that as we get closer to September, because I'm sure there are going to be, unfortunately, there are going to be injuries. There may be injuries. This guy's going to beat out that guy. So I'm going to wait. We'll go over that later on in the summer. Anyway, I want to thank those of you who hung out here and humored me through this. Darrell, I appreciate that. Kenneth Joyce, I appreciate you hanging out in the chat. The rest of the crew, they're doing other things. It's the day after a holiday, so I totally get it. And plus, it's still the off season. Alex, okay, so we got the trash talk going. Alex says, real, recognize real, Kenneth. So we have some hip hop references here going. Everyone, if you haven't, if you read, not everybody reads, please consider signing up for my Big Words LLC newsletter. I do have a book project on the way, and I am a blogger. There's a 2-paragraph greeting there, and you just click that subscribe button at the bottom, and that brings up the field for your email address. But that's only if you read. I was told that many people in the YouTube crowd don't read, which is why they're here on YouTube. So that's there. That's in the description box below, along with the link for my book. We have some trash talk now. Alex brings the trash talk when he comes. He says, sorry, just saw a comment on JJ's development. I don't think JJ has Alex's complete respect at this point, despite everything that JJ got accomplished at the end of last season. I don't think JJ has Alex's respect. So we're going to get a little JJ drop in here for you, Alex.
I mean, it was huge. Just from a team standpoint, this is our first road game, and especially coming into Kinnick with just the history of everything, it was just really awesome to get it done. Now we're on to the next week.
so much to be said about the culture of this group. It was established last year. How high is the ceiling for this Michigan football team?
I mean, we're not even scratching yet. We're still we're still learning. Every week we're getting better, and that's what makes this team just so dangerous. Like, we're nowhere near how good we can be. And it's like, practice, we really try each other. We go extremely hard in practice, and it makes moments like this, it makes it a little bit easier.
I love this. Every week we're going to add a player. So next week, 4 guys. Well done. Congratulations.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank
y'all so much. We appreciate y'all.
At the end of that was Iyabi Oki. Iyabi Oki has left Ann Arbor, so he's no longer on our team. But Alex, this one is just JJ. This one is for you.
I feel like the efficiency was definitely there, but we had that one drive I think it's the second drive of the game where we went 3 and out, and that one was on me. So that one kind of haunts me, but I thought we played pretty well in the first half.
Yeah, I don't think JJ has earned Alex's respect thus far. But Alex is hard to please. Darrell says Alex knows that Ohio State's secondary can't stop a school closing during COVID-19, and their offensive line can't block a phone call. Their offensive line can't block a phone call. McCord ain't coming through doing anything. Buckeyes will lose 2 to 3 games. Alex says, one good game, love that development. Well, Alex, also this season, this year, Alex says JJ is like Stetson Bennett. He's a gamer, but not a pro QB. Well, Alex, the other thing is this year, JJ had the shoulder surgery last year. So this year he has an entire off season to work with his teammates. So that's very, very encouraging for us. Everything he did last year, that was winning the job last minute against Cade. This year, it's pretty much a straight shot, assuming no injuries. Hey guys, what if Iowa is not on our schedule right now, but what if we run into Iowa in the Big Ten championship game? How much drama would there be with that, with Cade and Eric All on the other side? That would be wow. And yeah, I know at least Eric All would have revenge on his mind. Let's see. Darrell says, Alex, those gamers like Stetson, Cade, and JJ keep beating Ohio State, though. Alex says, facts, Darrell. Real recognize real. And then Alex says, no excuses for the Buckeyes. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this one up. Alex, thank you for coming through and antagonizing my 2 Michigan commenters here. Next time we'll have to, Darrell, if you're free and if Alex is free, we can perhaps have a roundtable discussion. So there will be more Michigan football content as we get closer to September. The NBA finals are going to start in 2 days. So I will continue working the shorts. So if you're seeing me create shorts on Nikola Jokic and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, that's intentional. I have not abandoned the Michigan football. I'm just using the shorts to cover the NBA finals and other things. All right, everyone. I need to eat something and I need to get ready to get in bed at a good hour and go make the donuts tomorrow. So everyone, thank you for being here. Again, if you're new, if you see fit, shout out to Bo Lytle. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. My Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. And you can also leave a super thanks. I'm going to read Darrell's last comment here. He says, Michigan would whoop Iowa by 20 points, that game would be personal. Well, it would be personal for them too, especially Cade and Eric All. So I think Cade is probably better than anything they've had recently at quarterback. So let's see what destiny has in store for our teams. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe out there. Go blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.